Mundy on Monday, where I am long on thoughts but short on time. Slender Man. More like slender plot, or plump clichés. I'm sorry to pun this early, but it really does seem appropriate. Today we'll explore how inconsistencies are really a sign of a lack of integrity ready to destroy any story. So, Slender Man the film. Please go see it. I highly recommend that. Not because it did so many things well, but because it did so many things poorly. This is a great learning tool for budding filmmakers, storytellers, or just horror fans in general. I'm being serious. Sometimes we can be awed by those whose art seems untouchable, but when things are shared that aren't quite as good as they'd hoped they'd be, it's both encouraging to us when we struggle to express ourselves, and it becomes a great tool to learn how to walk through that struggle. So, let's learn, shall we, class? Also, I want to say this is predicated on a set of questions. What did you set out to do, and how well did you do it? First, a quick catch-up on the man himself. Slender Man was the result of a Photoshop contest way back in 2009. Apparently, poster and creator Eric Knudsen was inspired by everything from William S. Burroughs to my man, H.P. Lovecraft, to the 1979 film Phantasm. Either way, Slender Man became a viral sensation and quickly adopted as an urban legend. He's even been pinpointed as creating a new type of folklore. Digital folklore. And because his status has changed so quickly within less than half a generation, he's even a great case study for how myths and legends can begin. Needless to say, this film is given a gargantuan opportunity for world building. Will this be a world where no one is aware of the Slender Man mythos, like The Walking Dead, where no one is aware of the idea of zombies? Or will this be a world like Stranger Things, where the mythic truths underneath the pop culture sheen will be used to explore and understand Slender Man? Either way would be cool. Sadly, the film does neither, really. Yes, it is a world where everyone knows he exists, but literally, that's it. Fine, then build the world in 2010 and let us discover the creepiness of it along with our group of protagonists. But no, the world of this film is, by political references alone, our 2018, while the characters are stuck in their 2010. The thrust of any particular folklore is held together by either themes or characters that are central to the story, where details depend on the teller, whoever holds the point of view. But here, there is no consistent thrust to the myths shared about Slender Man, and since there is no clear point of view, it is not just the details that change with each teller, but the entire myth itself. Is he a legend of the digital, technological, religious, fourth dimension, moral? We've no idea. The ad hoc learning system of vagaries and inconsistencies don't just remove support for world building, they actively undercut the villain. Case in point, the first girl's fate, deftly portrayed by Annalise Basso, is so confusing. It's almost as if we're being presented with Slender Man as a merciful answer to her suffering cries, just as the story is trying to establish him as the villain or evil. Let's say he's a viral monster. Problem is, each encounter is so distinctly different with no established motive or reality that it's unclear. He's a tree, and then he's a smoke monster, and then Samara from The Ring, and Poltergeist, Jason, a Figment. No behavioral consistencies. The result was an inability to know how to be frightened and how to root for or worry for anyone, which brings me to the lack of emotional investment in everyone. The girls make few active choices, refuse to believe almost everything, and are given dialogue as generic as video website. And it's like a computer virus, but instead of your hard drive, he infects your head. Yes, those are actual quotes. Like our monster, the behavior of the characters was also inconsistent. Let me get very specific. The supposed main character is introduced as a track star. Yet, after falling over every trope in the forest, when she finally challenges the Slender Man, there is zero reference to the fact that she might beat him with the one skill she supposedly has, being fast. And that's another thing. We only hear she is fast and cares about track. We never see it. It seems the only consistency in the character building and plot plotting is that it is all tell and no show. Which reminds me, I haven't even gotten to the narrative structure. Have you ever been to an awesome, cool, haunted house? The mood and sound design were great and effective, eerie and spooky, but then you walked in, and then there's nothing there. It's just a boring walkthrough of mood and tone. Yep. That was the aggregate effect of all the aforementioned inconsistencies. An empty narrative structure filled with contradictions whose characters serve as episodic exercises in tension building. What's so sad is the script came across as an amoebic body attempting to carry the weight of fully evolved visual and auditorial art. Compare this to the simpatico relationship between these same elements in Shaun of the Dead for comedic effect, or Hereditary for terrifying effect. Quickly, yes, the inciting incident doesn't happen until about 20 minutes in. The rising action is hindered by a lack of active choices and superfluous character introduction. The climax is muddied by a lack of clarity of what's at stake. But really, all these inconsistencies turn a would-be monster into a MacGuffin monster, a plot device with no cohesive narrative explanation that does succeed in doing what they are afraid of, infecting everything around it like a virus. Yet this also includes the film itself. In other words, one lesson to take away, class, is that the integrity of a good story will guide it, whereas an inconsistent or unfaithful one will be destroyed by its own duplicity. And that's my Monday. Now back to yours.